Alabama for basketball and the start of the Conference USA postseason. It started in October, now moves to Huntsville, and it's Jacksonville State who wins the opening tip. The Jacksonville State team known for defense, but the offense has seen some improvements this year. Get an early turnover here.
And already the defense starting to work for Sam Houston, getting their first steal of the game.
A team that loves to force turnovers and some athletic pieces on offense. Going back to Whitney Dunn. Inman has been playing some great basketball lately. Goes inside Ogayemi. Can't finish at the rim, gets the offensive rebound, and our first basket of this game goes to Sam Houston.
Well, she is the 5th best in the conference at rebounding and the 2nd best in offensive boards. Already saw her with 1 there and a putback.
A look at the starting lineup for Jacksonville State. Maria Sanchez Ponce leading the way offensively during the conference season. Asia Barclay plays a big role inside as you see Barclay miss off the glass. Fast pace early on. Inman gets deep. Throws it away. Harris spins and finishes for her first basket of this game.
Well, points were hard to come by for Jacksonville State against this matchup against Sam Houston, but also in general this season. Coach Petrie telling us he just has not found that consistent score. Transition, best way to get some points.
And a turnover here as Asia Ward-Strong throws that one out of bounds. Your point, Kelly, the last time these two teams met, Rick Petrie's side held under 50 points in that contest, just 49. For better results here on the neutral court. Fresh legs come on the floor. Let's look at Kylie McGuire, has dealt with injuries down the stretch of this year, but healthy. Back out on the court for Raven Justice's side. Kelly, what do you think the biggest keys are for Jacksonville State offensively in this game?
Well, Jacksonville State, they have got to find ways to score, certainly, and that's a good job of having patience on offense. Shot selection, I think, is going to be important for them.
Harris averages just under 4 points per game on the season, has 4 in the early going. Kone was a long 2. Jacksonville State looking good early on.
Yeah, 2 straight possessions of shots, high percentage shots right near the rim. Really good execution by Jacksonville State.
And Houston searching for an answer here. Jacksonville State on a 6-0 run. And Dunn can't finish at the rim.
Yeah, really good rebound by Barnes to secure it and give her team another opportunity at putting some points on the board. It's looked easy for Jacksonville State. That's not something Coach Petrie has said about his ball club all year long.
Now, offense has definitely been a struggle. Here's Sydney Kemp, redshirt senior, looking to go coast to coast. She's blocked, but they'll call the foul. It'll be on Barnes, and that will put Kemp at the free throw line.
Coach Petrie, that face says it all. Doesn't like that turnover by his ball club. You got it against this Sam Houston team. You've got to use ball fakes, shot fakes. Have to do a much better job at making the defense move.
So Sam Houston at the free throw line. A large swaths of this season, they have struggled at the charity stripe, just 65% on the year. Kemp, though, an 86% free throw shooter, but comes up short on the first. Kemp connects on the second. That snaps a 6-0 run for Jacksonville State.
Sam Houston picking up in the full court. They're just playing man-to-man, but looking like they're about to double, and they do. The trap comes.
Almost forced the turnover. Nice job of Harris who moved into the starting lineup late in the regular season to maintain possession. Deep in the shot clock. This is Barnes. She had a big game at the tournament here last year. Linnea couldn't connect.
Sam Houston defense on the ball screen is very good, forcing the player to have no view at any inside, and then Sam Houston comes down and turns the ball over again. It has been a sloppy start for both teams, a combined 6 turnovers on the day.
Kemp just not on the same page there with Deborah Ogayemi, redshirt junior out of Waterford, Iowa. She has been Sam Houston's best player this season. There's Barclay working into the post. Got deep, couldn't finish, but will draw the foul and head to the free throw line.
Got great fakes on the low block there. I thought one probably too many fakes for her defender. I thought she had her actually on that initial right hand over her left shoulder, going on in with the right hand. Either way, though, gets a foul and an opportunity at the free throw line.
Kelly, you were a former big. As a big in that situation, how do you guard those fakes?
You know, you just have to be straight up. If you jump for a block or to defend, that's when they have you. So you got to keep your feet on the ground, keep your hands up, and defend with your body.
So discipline's a big key.
For sure.
Jacksonville State roaring out to the strong start here in Huntsville, Alabama. 0 of 2 at the free throw line is Barclay. Scramble for the basketball, and it's the Gamecocks who get it back. And they take advantage of this second opportunity. Ponce working into the paint, spins, and will head right back to the free throw line. And Jacksonville State's doing a great job right now of forcing Sam Houston into tough spots.
Yeah, and I love the hustle for the rebound on the other end there. There's the foul inside on Kone. And remember, one of the best defenders in this league, but everybody on the floor to get the loose ball. You can tell it's tournament time.
Maria Sanchez-Ponce at the free throw line led this team with close to 10 points per game, just over 4 rebounds per game during conference play. Again, it just goes to show you they don't really have that go-to scorer. A very deep team is Ponce with a little fist bump there as she makes both free throws.
Yeah, they're going to score by committee. Not a single player on this roster averages double digits, and so everyone is going to have to step up to do what they can.
Whitney Dunn working inside. Ogayemi fighting for the offensive rebound, and it will stay with Sam Houston. Jacksonville State is not pleased. Kelly, let's take a look, though, at the keys to this game.
For Jacksonville State, I mentioned shot selection. The Gamecocks have struggled to score all season long, as I've mentioned. And against this pressure, they cannot rush shots. They'll have to take their time and get good shots at each possession. And on the other side, it's defend the three-point line. Jacksonville State leads the league in three-point percentage and threes per game. And they're going to have to find shooters in transition and run them off the line in their half-court offense.
Harris drawing the foul underneath. Sam Houston going to the free throw line.
There's the drive inside. So strong is Ogayemi, going up against pressure. And another opportunity now at the free throw line for Sam Houston.
Ogayemi been such a huge addition to this Sam Houston roster this year. Came over from UT Rio Grande Valley. Led this team in minutes played inside the top 10 in the conference. Over 12 points per contest. There's 1 of 2 at the line. Full court pressure. Jacksonville State able to break it. Sanchez-Ponce, the tie-up. Possession arrows giving it back to Sam Houston. This defense on full display here.
Well, they're changing things up on the defensive end. So first they're matching up in just a man-to-man full court pressure, not trying to provide too much, not trying to get a steal necessarily, just slow it down. That time, full court pressure, trapping, making it very difficult to get those passes up the floor.
It's been a while since Sam Houston's last field goal. That drought will continue. Over 4 minutes now. Instead, ball is going to take us to immediate timeout here in Huntsville. Harris penetrating, throws it up, it won't go.
She misses on that attempt, but the lane has been wide open for penetration for Jacksonville State all game long. And there's the answer that they desperately needed. Goes to the rim, does done.
This basket in over 4.5 minutes from the field for Sam Houston, but still trailing by just 2. Barclay driving on McGuire, count the basket, and she will head to the free throw line when we come back. Asia Barclay giving Jacksonville State an early 4-point lead. Elsie Harris has been strong. It's the Gamecocks by 4 with 4:21 to go in the first.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every.
And understanding and applying the style that Jack State likes to guard. Coach told me the difference from November to now is so clear. She's not the same player she was before. She's taken advantage of the opportunity to be a contributor for this team, Noah.
Barclay hits the free throw there, and to further that too, this is a player that was playing in an NAIA school a season ago. There is no transfer portal in the NAIA, Kelly, so it took a little bit for them to find her, but she's been an incredible addition to this team. Yeah,
and you heard Annie say that. There's no better motivator than to not get playing time. She wanted to start. She wanted to be on the floor. Coach Petrie was not giving her the time she wanted, so what do? You get better.
Ogayami's jumper gonna skip off the rim.
Look at the defense, the box out there, incredible inside.
And now Harris throws it out of bounds. And that has been an issue at times this year for this Jacksonville State team. You have a big opportunity there on the break where, Kelly, we were talking about it. They've been very successful on the break against the Sam Houston defense.
Yeah, they've been scoring in their secondary break. It's once in a while they'll get that first look, but they're not necessarily setting up their offense. Their offense has been the secondary break. Dribble in, penetration, dump off to somebody inside, or go all the way in for a layup.
There's Kemp on the curl. Flanked by Shaquise May, who has been in the starting lineup at times this year, coming off the bench here late in the year. Kemp downhill, had it blocked. But that'll be a foul on May, and that will put Sydney Kemp back at the free throw line.
And a good decision there. You bring Ogayami up top, see, as the screener leaves that lane wide open for Kemp to go one-on-one. And now another trip to the free throw line. Jacksonville State has had quite a few fouls in this game already. 3.
Kemp at the charity stripe. It has been an up and down season for her, limited due to injuries early on this year. 5.7 points this year, the lowest point total of her career, but this is a veteran who the coaching staff felt like might step up here in Huntsville on this stage.
Every time there's a conference tournament, it's the seniors. I'm always watching what they do because they know their season can end today if they do not step it up and try to get a win for their team.
Kept playing her 139th career game here today for Sam Houston, a rarity in this day and age. ASU struggling to get into their offense. Kone nearly with the steal. Rhodes will drive, kick, the 3. Barnes is too strong. Now Kone on the break. Nice move, couldn't finish at the rim.
And those are the shots that Sam Houston needs desperately. Yeah.
And an offensive foul. This will go against Brianna Rhodes. Pick up the foul, and Sam Houston gets it back. Those function as a turnover.
Yeah, Sam Houston does a really good job of cutting the cutter. They can see where the offensive player wants to go. They stop them on their line and make them adjust. That time, though, the offensive player was too aggressive trying to get through.
The player's under review for a timing error.
So the officials are taking a look at the clock here, a potential timing error. Officials today, Brian Garland, Bill Lawrence, and Iffy Seals. I think the clock might have run a second or two after, so they want to make sure to get this right here.
I think this is what we expect at the beginning of the conference tournament. And I think that we're going to see this in the first quarter of every single game that you and I call, Noah, because there's always a little bit of those first game jitters, right? We're sitting at 10, or what are we, 8 turnovers total right now in this only, barely 7 minutes of play. And no team has really gotten into a flow offensively yet. I love seeing the defense for Sam Houston. Them picking up in full court press, trapping, doing little things like that I think has been important, especially as you're trying to develop a rhythm.
Yeah, because a lot of times at the postseason, you're coming in, maybe you haven't played on this court all year long. Kelly, a lot of coaches talk about you have to be able to control the controllables, and defense is one of those things.
After review, the time on the clock should be 2 minutes and 51 seconds. The ball's coming in play, inbound to Sam Houston.
2:51, wow.
There was a time, we're being told, that the clock did not stop earlier. So we will see about 23 seconds here or there taken off the clock. So 2:51 remaining now in this first quarter.
I missed that. Usually I would pick up on something like that. I'm sure some of you at home watch that clock continue to roll.
Hey, we're just excited to be courtside doing basketball, right, Kelly? It's
Right.
March Madness.
Love it.
Best time of year.
I mean, you think about all the stories of March and conference tournaments. You think about NC State men last year who came in and won 5 games in a row to win that ACC championship at the end. We could look at one of these teams in the final game potentially if it can go their way.
Just did a tournament in the Sun Belt this past week where Marshall won 4 games in the first 4 days of the tournament, played their 5th consecutive game, ended up coming up short. But Kelly, this is the time of year coaches talk about it. The records reset and a chance for you to have new life in the postseason.
And you really have to believe that as a player. You cannot come, neither of these teams can come in here. Yeah, that's a great travel call. I saw it too. You can't come in here and think, we're at the bottom of the conference. Let's just finish this out. No, this is what you're playing for. The middle of the season there, conference play, was a warm-up to get ready to this incredibly important part of the season.
Quick note, a moment ago, that offensive foul was on Ogayemi. That's her 2nd, so she's out of the game here now with 2 personals.
And that is a big loss for them. When you think about what she does on the interior and the way that she attacks the glass, now Jacksonville State probably will see a few more offensive rebounds now that she's out of the game.
Foul there as Kone was trying to get to that offensive board. It'll put Sam Houston in the bonus for the remainder of this quarter. That was the first on Maria Sanchez Ponce, Jacksonville State.
Fonta Kone has not scored in this game yet. Remember, she is that player we highlighted in the open. We did mention, though, scoring is not necessarily her strong suit. It's what she does on the other end of the floor, but she is 0 of 3. She does have 2 rebounds, an assist.
She did, though, have Jacksonville State's number during the regular season, almost 15 points per game. But 0 of 2 there from the free throw line. Both teams a little sluggish from the charity stripe early.
So the trap comes, but then the other player not there in time, and it allows Jacksonville State to get a good look at the bucket. Great finish inside.
Brianna Rhodes with her first basket. More pushing and shoving, and an offensive foul goes against Nyla Inman.
I love it in the first half because you play defense against your bench. There is the pass inside to Barnes, and she takes it all the way, finishes with the left off the glass. And then how about Barnes again? Just being in the right, or Rhodes, pardon me, at the right place at the right time, getting the contact, falling over. Jacksonville State on a bit of a run here.
Now both teams in the bonus for the remainder of this quarter. Downhill is Steele, and the nice finish at the rim.
They're getting everything they want to at the rim. Sam Houston, as good as their defense is, they are not containing penetration.
That one goes out of bounds. What's the adjustment then for Sam Houston defensively?
Well, got to contain one-on-one. This is fundamental basketball, and this is exactly what Coach Justice has taught them all season long. So if you allow them to get around you, then your help side now has to start coming. Help side needs to be aware, off. The problem is you're playing against a team that has excellent shooters, so you have to be wary of who you help off of.
And that help side doesn't come, you're in big trouble.
That's right, and that's what's been happening.
Swung to the corner, extra pass. Maya Barnes had a big game in this tournament last year. She gets inside, and everything going Jacksonville State's way early.
We watched this Jacksonville State team play Liberty just a few games ago. They had Liberty went out to a 20-point lead. Jacksonville State got it to 1 late in that game. This team can score and get stops when they need to. Here's the drive inside by Barnes, up and around, and the rim friendly for Maya Barnes.
Barnes, a player that they expected a lot more out of offensively this year. The coaching staff saying her struggles from the field have been a bit of a quandary, but there's no time like the present here in the postseason to break out of that. We did have a foul there on Sydney Kemp, and with Jacksonville State in the bonus, we march to the other end for a pair of free throws. Louise May misses the first. Her role change at the end of the year. Had started the first 21 games this season. Has come off the bench here in the last 7 games of the year. Misses both. Strong rebound underneath by Asia Ward-Strong. If you're Sam Houston, how do you get the offense going?
You know, with Ogayemi out of the game, that hurts because now you don't have any interior presence inside. I know Ward is in there, but she is not one of those back-to-the-basket post players. You've got to probably just spread out. I like that play that they did a moment ago where they brought the big up to the top to set a screen, and then you saw Kemp drive one-on-one into the wide-open paint area.
Trying to get your players in good spots. Here's Inman, gets downhill, and the finish at the rim.
And that's exactly what they do. They spread out everybody, nobody inside the paint, and go one-on-one.
The tough thing for Sam Houston, they're not the best three-point shooting team, so it really hurts you in your ability to spread out the defense.
Yeah, and you're gonna see teams sag off into the middle because they know they don't have to get out to shooters, and it really clogs up the paint.
Barnes missed the three. Over 30 seconds to go in a fast-moving first quarter. Inman count the basket, and she will head to the free throw line. It works as three.
It does. I could have never guessed that shot would have gone in. She slung it as soon as the defense was coming to defend. Look at that. I mean, off the wrong foot and everything. Gets it to fall off the glass. Excellent job by Nyla Inman.
She has been playing some inspired basketball down the stretch of this year. Career high 24 points in that regular season finale at New Mexico State. She's averaged over 15 points per game in her last 6. Mr. Rodeyer checks into this game. Heavy Spanish flair for both teams here today.
Another miss on the free throw line, but they're gonna call a foul on Shaquise May coming in to box out the shooter. And that will be more free throws.
So May now checks out. She's got 2 personal fouls.
Yeah, that's important. You've got players now on the bench, 1 for each team with 2 fouls, and we haven't even started the second quarter.
Linnea checking back in. Inman has 2 more free throws upcoming with her team in the bonus. She's missed the first 2 free throws that she has shot today.
Free throws overall, just terrible for both teams. 4 of 10 for Sam Houston, 3 of 7 for Jacksonville State. You just wonder if teams are tight coming into this environment.
I would ask you, Kelly, you've played in environments like this. As an athlete, are you tight starting off a game?
I think you are. I think that, you know, there's always the scenario when a higher seed comes in. So say you got MTSU and Liberty tomorrow. I have a feeling that whoever plays them, it will be a team that played today, will have a better start than those high seeds because they're used to the floor, they're used to playing, and it takes every team a little bit.
There's 15 seconds to go, some chaos here on the near sideline. But Sam Houston with a chance to further cut into this deficit. Trailed by as many as 9 in this quarter. Rodeyer locates Ward-Strong, misses the 2. And after 1 quarter of play here in Huntsville, Jacksonville State with a 4-point edge. Day 1 of the Conference USA Women's Basketball Championships. 2 teams fighting to keep their season alive right now. It's Jacksonville State with the early edge after 1.
Back to what Coach said. They capitalized on those Sam Houston turnovers. Sam Houston with 6 turnovers, they scored 10 points off of them. So they are able to put the ball in the hole. Everything seems to have been pretty easy offensively for Jacksonville State. That's not something I would have assumed to say coming into this game.
Second quarter just underway here, round 1 of these Conference USA Women's Basketball Championships. Inside the former national champion Kelly Deo, I'm Noah Frary. It's going to be a fun couple of days here in Huntsville as we chase a spot in the NCAA tournament for one of these Conference USA programs. Miami's still out of the game for Sam Houston with those 2 personal fouls. Good movement here, Kemp downhill, throws it up, and an offensive foul.
Wow.
And how many charges have we seen drawn in this game, Kelly?
I mean, to be honest, I think this is more of a flop. Kemp gets to the spot. I don't think there's a lot of contact there. Good job by Barkley to fall over. I mean, that's important when you're trying to sell it. But either way, you have to adjust to the officials. So now you have to jump stop, shot fake, whatever, and go up.
We have seen that flop warning added to college basketball. Was not used that time, though. Sarge inside, had that one swatted.
So there's the drive. And we've seen that happen a lot from the high post, but the block so strong by this Sam Houston defense, and now Sam Houston will force another turnover.
Now 9 turnovers in this contest so far for Jacksonville State. It's an area Sam Houston is so good in. They led this conference in steals per game this year. They force opponents to turn it over at an extremely high clip. They need to find ways to take advantage. Kode does.
Not necessarily what we expect from her. That is just a 2. Her foot was on the line, but not a great outside shooter normally. But that's what you love coming into tournament, when your teammate or when your players do something unexpected.
Better coach says, though, can you step back 2 or 3 more inches, right? 2 versus 3.
Just one more point, if you will. But look at her defense. This is where she's so good. On-ball defense.
Sarge with it, had it blocked the last time down. She's in trouble. 3 on the shot clock. Heaved by Planea, misses it, but an offensive rebound for Sample. But she stepped out of bounds.
I think Planea thought that the time that the shot clock was about to go off immediately. She took no time before that shot. You know, her coach said he was interested to see the way she would play coming off that 6th Player of the Year. That's a massive award for her. It says so much about what she's done this season, and so far been really quiet in this game.
Inman with the circus shot. It goes up and over the backboard. Was pleading for the foul. None ever came.
Jacksonville State, only 2 starters on the floor right now. They're going to their bench early in this one. Planea, though, one of those starters has yet to score. Only played 6 minutes.
This is a Jacksonville State team that has relied a ton on their bench this year.
There's the lane.
Sarich with the easy finish.
I cannot believe the defensive breakdowns for this Sam Houston team. This is a team that does so much better at defending in the half court.
Inman working in the interior and rolls it off the rim. She's been a bright spot early on.
And their pressure forces a turnover. Can they get it back? They do. And now it's 1-on-1, or 2-on-2 rather.
Sample fouled. And that's going to be on Cindy Kemp. That will be her 3rd personal foul already here in this first half.
That's huge. Your 5th-year senior, she's out of the game now. There's Eden Sample, fakes to the shooter. That's where you just have to quick attempt and let her shoot that layup. Your presence is more valuable on the floor than you picking up a 3rd foul.
Well, you touched on this bench and the impact it's had for Jacksonville State coming into today. Almost 27 points per game, good for 13th in the country and 2nd best in this conference.
Yeah, 2nd best to Liberty, who you will get a look at tomorrow. There's not a single player for Liberty in the top 20 in minutes played per game because they play so much of their bench. Very similar to this Jacksonville State team.
An incredibly deep team, that Flame squad. They pulled off the big win over MTSU and then took down Western Kentucky in that final week of the year to earn that 1 seed. Dunn hit the 2.
Sam Houston just keeps finding ways to score. Just when you think Jacksonville State has the momentum, they're making shots, getting into the lane with ease, Sam Houston has been able to answer.
Barclay trying to keep possession, can't. And an athletic play there by Asia Ward-Strong, who started her career as a track athlete at Alabama. Inman short, got the offensive rebound and draws the foul. That'll be on Eden Sample.
Inman always so aggressive with the ball. I think, you know, in some scouting reports, you may see the letters OOC, out of control, once in a while for Inman. But it's plays like that that help her team out. She misses the shot, immediately goes after her rebound.
And this time earlier this year with an injury, took her some time to regain those sea legs, but has been playing a ton better lately. Kone slips it inside. And an offensive foul.
Ow. Another offensive foul. Great job by Rhodes to be there on the slip. Great look at the slip, by the way. Inman catches it and just leans her shoulder right into the bucket.
We've seen quite a number of offensive fouls. Some players playing with some reckless abandon here early. That shot will now count. Foul on the floor. Jacksonville State will have it underneath their own basket. We touched on the strong start offensively for Jacksonville State, but just 4 points here in this quarter, and that has been the story of their season. At times, this offense has felt like it's been on a seesaw.
Yeah, I mean, in the game, the second game that these two teams played, Jacksonville State had 6 points in the first quarter, and then they had really good second and third quarters, and then 6 points in the fourth quarter. So they just could not find ways to score.
Today they have 12 turnovers. They've just lost all the flow that they had early on. And Houston's turned up that defensive pressure. Kone will pull it back out. This is Whitney Dunn, a pair of baskets here in the early stages. Deep in the shot clock, Ward-Strong. Fouled on the floor. Another offensive foul there. Travel. Still a turnover.
And those numbers are mounting. We're at 22 now for the game.
It's a lot here in the first half.
It's a lot. It feels like a lot.
Don't worry, it is.
It is. That's right. It's confirmed. And there's Kone. All defensive team for a reason.
Looking to distribute. Ward-Strong inside.
And that's the other thing Kone does well, right? You saw her with no look pass because she reads the player coming up behind her. She leads the conference in assists. I mean, this is our defensive player we're talking about. Leads in steals, we expect that, but leads in assists because of her understanding of the game.
Coaching staff telling us that she's just the type of player that produces everywhere, Kelly. I did some digging. She's had 6 games this year where she's had 5 or more points, 5 or more rebounds, and 5 or more assists. Those are the types of players that, as a coach, you love to have on your roster.
Yeah, they're effective and efficient with their time on the floor.
Talked about all the turnovers here early on. This is a Sam Houston team that, as we told you, one of the best defensively in this conference. Still give up a few too many points, but they create a lot of havoc.
I mean, they forced 13 Jacksonville State turnovers already in this game. They averaged 23, best in the conference, 8th in the nation. It's pretty good defense.
Down low, Rhodes back in. Second try coming, and she'll head to the free throw line.
So a lot of turnovers and a lot of fouls in this game. Neither team seems to be totally locked in. You see the strange position on the floor for Brianna Rhodes on this free throw line. Goes far to the right. She's a lefty. She's comfortable at that spot.
Rhodes in and out. I saw this for the first time just last week. You're used to, there's actually a nail, Kelly, in the middle of that free throw line that you generally align yourself with, but when you have a stroke like her, you tend to line up right there, and it allows you to hit the free throw.
Well, you and I just talked about the Wofford men's team that just played in the Southern Conference. They have a player who shoots the ball underhanded from the free throw line as Kone finds a lane to the basket.
They didn't just play, they won the Southern Conference tournament, and now the Terriers going to March Madness. This time of year, just so much fun, the storylines, and the ability for some of these programs to shine on a bigger stage. Harris has had a big first half, will rein in the three. 7 for Elsie Harris in the opening half.
And that is our first 3 of the game. Not what we expected from this Jacksonville State, who does make a lot of threes.
Done, an easy call there. Jacksonville State's just been well positioned on a lot of these drives. And that'll take us to a break here in this second quarter. A tight game, 3-point edge for the Gamecocks.
Whether it's family for dinner or game time, it's time for Johnson's Giant Foods Deli. All you have to do is drop by Johnson's Giant Foods and grab whatever you want, hot and ready to go. Chicken salad and chicken fingers to die for. Savory ribs, salad, dessert, you name it. It's waiting for you and your family or friends. Johnson's Giant Foods with 5 locations in Gadsden, Atala, Jacksonville, and Coldwater.
Welcome to the charming town of Huntsville, Texas, where the echoes of history resonate in the hearts of the present. Nestled among the lush piney woods, learn about the life and legacy of the famous Texan hero at the Sam Houston Memorial Museum. Whether you're a history buff or searching for that small-town hospitality, Huntsville has it all. Gather round and savor the true Texan spirit in Huntsville.
A trusted name in healthcare and a legendary name on the court.
No love lost on the floor. But the bands have high respect for each other, high regard. They play, back and forth. They congratulate each other. And I'm going to tell you, by the way, I just want to say this on air. Sam Houston did our national anthem. That was such a beautiful national anthem. I don't think I've ever heard that, the way that, like the horns, everything. It was excellent.
Barnes throws it away. Here's Kone on the break.
Easy offense coming from the defense. That is the #1 way that Sam Houston wants to get their points on the offensive end.
The other thing those bands are good at is trash talk. I heard one of them heckling the ref for tying a shoe during the break.
Yeah. Oh.
Harris downhill, fouled, and we'll head to the free throw line. Defense to offense, the story here early for Sam Houston.
Yeah, we knew coming into this game, this is a team that turns people over a lot, and then when they can turn those defensive stops into points on the other end, it's when they're at their best.
Elsie Harris trying to continue her strong start to the day. 7 points already here in this first half of play, 3 of 4 from the field. Averages just 4 points per game during the season. Her season high was 13. These are the type of players, Kelly, that you touched on that need to step up in the postseason, and when they do, you oftentimes get some great stories.
Yeah, so those are the two things I look at. I'm looking at seniors, fifth-year seniors, whatever it is. People who are playing potentially their last game of basketball, see how they play. And then those complementary players. Somebody that steps up out of nowhere, knocks down threes, gets stops, whatever it is. Those are the type of players that we see in this March format.
Time of year when it really goes to prove that it's all about being the best team out there on that given day. You need the individual performances, but ultimately all has to combine for you to win in the postseason. Ford Strong sees Whitney Dunn 4 points in this first half. Ford Strong driving, it's kicked. Elise Grant, nowhere to go. 2 on the shot clock. Kone off of one leg, and the bank is open. Sam Houston ties it at 27.
And that time it's a 3 for Kone. She was on the line just a few minutes prior, got a 2 from long range. Her shooting has been heating up in this game.
Rhodes trying to answer, can't. Jacksonville State now just 2 of 8 from the field here in the second quarter. The hands of Fonta Kone, 9 points on this game, all of them in this second quarter.
You see Kone directing traffic. That's what somebody who has the most assists, and that's a tie-up. Most assists in the conference, that's what they are, high IQ kids. They know what their team needs to run. And here is the shot by Kone as the time expires off the glass. Count it for 3, number 4. Dropping in her first 3 of the day.
We do get a timeout on the floor after the tie-up, a 30-second timeout for Sam Houston. Kone has been such a great addition to this program, coming out of Tyler Junior College. We were told that she's kind of the old woman on this team, Kelly, and I feel her. She normally goes to bed at 8:30. I think I was asleep by about 9 last night.
I love that. Coach Justice saying we should hang out because I'm old and you know, she acts like she's my age. That's her understanding. She also said about this young player that she's so appreciative. One of the most appreciative kids she's ever been around. Thank you. Everything after somebody does something is thank you. And has a great story coming from Molly, and just an outstanding kid. Came on her visit by herself, knew what she wanted, and just fell in love with this Sam Houston program.
Sam Houston's hit their last 3 shots from the field. This game is tied. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Kone will drive inside, spins at the rim, and the rebound there for Ponce. Slow it down. Jacksonville State trying to jumpstart this offense. They'll get the foul, and 2 shots coming from Maya Barnes. It feels like those driving lanes have been closed down here in the second quarter.
Well, they're running the Princeton offense, and they have been getting those straight line drives more in that first quarter. This time, the defense was pushing Maya Barnes out a little bit more, which I think didn't get her that angle to the basket. The problem playing against this Jacksonville State team is they're shooters. And so where you'd want help to come from the other side on the offside wing, they have to be concerned about the shooter in the corner, but it still does need to come. You can't give them those wide open looks.
Kelly, when you speak of that Princeton offense, what are some of the biggest tenets or tells that fans can expect to see from it?
Well, you've got a lot of space inside, and sometimes they can run with 1 player in the middle, but a 5-out Princeton offense, you're looking a lot of read and react. So if somebody overplays you, you go back door. There's a lot of movement. It's very difficult to play on the play against on the defensive end.
Built for scoring on the perimeter.
Yeah, or those drives.
Dunn, high off the glass. She'll head to the free throw line. Quite a few whistles here in this first half of play. Combined 24 fouls now for these 2 teams.
Good drive, spin inside, picks up the foul. Neither team doing a good job of scoring within their offense. We're seeing a lot of one-on-one. You got Sam Houston, who just has 3 assists on the day. Jacksonville State just 1.
2 good defenses, making it tough.
Yeah. And going back to what we were saying earlier, that Jacksonville State is really more scoring in their secondary break. If they don't get that initial transition layup, they're going to try to go in secondary break, which does not involve passing the ball around the perimeter very much.
And they have been good at the rim today. 7 of the 12 layup opportunities they've been able to convert. 6 points now for Whitney Dunn in this first half. Houston staked to a 1-point edge here in Huntsville. Final 2 minutes of this first half of the opening round of these championships. Total of 9 games here over the next 5 days. Linnea trying to get downhill, stopped, but dragged the pivot foot. And a 15th turnover here in this first half.
Linnea just having trouble finding her place on the offensive end for Jacksonville State. She was the leading scorer coming into this game, is still with 0 on the day.
Dunn, kick out, Grant for 3. And a foul underneath the basket will go against Montecone, and that will lead to free throws for Jacksonville State.
Elsie Harris has done a phenomenal job boxing out down low. She stands at 5'5", but I think she may be the best in terms of her positioning on the box out. Kone got the foul because of that box out, tried to get over the top of her, and I've seen that multiple times in this game.
Yeah, when you're 5'5" on the floor, you got to be good at boxing out, right?
I love that. Don't let height be a factor. Be good at the little things.
Harris skips that one into double figures today with 10 points here in this first half.
And see, that's huge, because this is a player that averages just under 4 points a game. So when we talk about players stepping up and doing something out of character, that's exactly what you're getting right now in Elsie Harris.
Second one skips in and out. Houston coming the other way in a lot of foul trouble. The block there at the rim. Harris now pushes. Barnes, extra pass. Ponce's open. Into the hands of Dunn on the rebound. She'll push.
Three-point line has just not been friendly to either team so far in this game. And there is the defensive stop by Jacksonville State. Can they score?
As Ponce got her defender in the air, drives, but they'll call the travel there on the Euro step.
Credit Kone coming over and makes her take one more step. And now Jacksonville State will still have an opportunity, obviously, but Sam Houston would love to get some points on the board going into halftime.
ASU averaged 17.5 turnovers per game against the Sam Houston team during the regular season. In the first half today, they already have 16. Sam Houston content to take it deep into the shot clock. They're gonna put Kone in action. Stopped initially. And Grant travels. A sloppy first half from these two teams. A combined 29 turnovers now here in the opening quarter of this game.
And a quick substitution. They'll bring Harris out and bring Samaya Steele into this game to try to get some points here with 17.9 seconds left. Sam Houston, though, you know they're picking up full court. Not going to make it easy.
Linnea, the 6th woman of the year in this conference, will bring it across midcourt. Plenty of time to operate, but she travels. The turnovers are racking up right now for Rick Petrie's side.
Yeah, and he's just shaking his head. I don't know. I don't know what more you could do as a coach. I mean, these are unforced turnovers.
So now Sam Houston can hold for the final shot. They trailed by 4 after 1, a chance to take the lead here. Kone finds Dunn, the corner 3, and tipped out. And after 1 half of play here in the opening game of this tournament, tied at 29, as both teams combined to not hit a field goal over the last 4 minutes of this first half. Well, it's Molly Kaiser. The fun just getting started here in Huntsville, and so is the third quarter. Jacksonville State will hit their first basket out of the break. It's Asia Barclay.
And I wonder if that pass out by Linnea is indicative of the way she played that first half, because I would have thought that she would have gone up against contact. Instead, she kicks it out to make a difficult mid-range jumper.
And she was 0 for 2 from the field. She picked up that 6th Woman of the Year award. Her coach said, I'm hoping that that leads to big things here and that she doesn't put too much pressure on herself.
Yeah, you certainly do hope that. That can happen sometimes. You know, you come out having something to prove. You want to prove to the conference that they put the right person in that award. And yeah, she hasn't had a great start, but 20 minutes of basketball.
Harris has it, continues. She ties her season high with 13.
That's so important too, because you think about the foul trouble for her teammates right now. You have Shaquise May on the bench with 3 fouls, and right now Harris has got to step up, and then she'll get a charge. Wow.
Beyond Ward Strong.
So here's the shot, good kick. That's another assist, by the way, for Jacksonville State. And then she comes back on the other end and gets a stop.
Doing it all so far today. Came into this contest just 1 game all season long in double figures. That was the 13-point game that she had earlier this year. It was against Southern Utah in the 2nd game of the regular season. Here's Planea, still searching for her first basket.
But again, those paint touches. It started with Harris, got inside, made the pass. Inman, the recipient of a great pass in transition. Bearcats with an easy 2.
Barclay was trailing behind the play after falling down near the basket. What a day for Elsie Harris so far. 13 points here in the 3rd quarter. 4 or 5 from the field, 2 of 2 from downtown. Barclay the long 2, short. Barnes with the offensive rebound. Can't stuff it back. 2nd try is not the charm. And Sam Houston gets it back.
And Rick Petrie, wow, if we had a camera on him, that'd be a great replay. He was hot after that miss. That's the kind of shot you cannot miss. Right by the bucket. Yes, there's defense there, but that should have gone down. And in this kind of situation, in the tournament, you got to make shots like that.
We're shooting about 50% on layups so far early on in this game. You'd like to see that be a little bit higher.
That could be 70. That should be, honestly, high 60s, 70% on layups.
Kemp out there with the 3 personals. 3 on the shot clock. Dunn heaves it up. And the rebound there for Barclay.
Planea running the floor. Elsie Harris.
Deborah Ogayemi back in there for Sam Houston. Planea couldn't catch that one underneath. Sanchez Ponce travels. 17.5 turnovers per game for this Jacksonville State team in 2 games against Sam Houston during the regular season. 18 more today, and still it feels like an eternity left in this game. A sluggish offensive start for these 2 teams here in this first game of round 1 in Huntsville.
With the way that Sam Houston, keeps getting the ball in the paint, they're going to call a block on that one. I wouldn't be surprised to see Jacksonville State move to a zone. You don't have shooters on the outside. Nobody's really making a ton of threes for Sam Houston, and what's hurting is that paint penetration.
That foul was on Planea, her first. 2 teams searching for their first ever win in a Conference USA tournament. Tie up. Barclay ended up near midcourt. Kone had a quick conversation there with the official. Stays with Sam Houston, trailing by 3 here in the 3rd quarter. Inman's had a nice game so far with 9. So is Kone. Reigns in the 3, and she's in double figures with 12.
This is not her game. It's not normal for her to come into a game and hit 2 threes. The third long two she had, her toe was right on the line. She's playing outside of herself, and Sam Houston has to be pleased, but she will They will say she stepped on the baseline. Jacksonville State ball.
Really, to your point, Kone, not known as the most gifted of scorers, but whenever she plays this Jacksonville State team, she turns into the best offensive weapon that Sam Houston's had in quite some time.
I had that. I remember there were certain teams that I knew, okay, I'm probably
going
to, Georgetown was one. And we were Big East back then at Notre Dame. And then, and definitely UConn was always like, oh, can anybody have a good game until we finally beat them our senior year.
Gino Ariema, the coach, even back then.
Right, I don't even know how many it is, but they just won a Big East title.
How fun has Paige Becker's been to watch this year?
So much fun. Basketball overall, oh my goodness.
Continues setting ratings records this year. Becker's expected to be the #1 overall pick in the WNBA draft. Here's Ogayami, misses at the rim, a foul underneath.
Or you go back to that Big Ten final, the rematch with USC and UCLA. There's the drive, Ogayami misses. And the foul, though, on the play, they're gonna say that was on the floor.
I would talk about the ACC final with Duke winning the championship, but I know you don't want to talk about that.
No, I was happy for Duke. I mean, of course, I always want my Fighting Irish to win, but their defense, I am a defense-first mentality, and I love what they did on the defense end.
Inman will head to the free throw line. Kara Lawson turning around that Duke team this year, leading them to the ACC championship and most likely a 3 or 4 seed in the NCAA tournament that's coming up. So much great college basketball this time of year. I've found my television on way too much over the last couple of weeks.
Just bouncing, right, in between all the games, and then you turn on your phone to get the ones on ESPN Plus. And
I've been told that the YouTube quad box, YouTube TV, is the best way to watch March Madness, but I've never invested as they keep raising the prices.
Same. We started off at the very bottom. I don't know what it was, but I remember my husband got us in, and right after that, it probably doubled, and we were like, we're out.
Hey, now I just get ESPN Plus.
That's right.
You can watch all of these games, right?
Exactly.
Including this one.
Here's our plug.
All about the sponsors.
That's right.
Inman hits both free throws. Sam Houston with a 2-point edge here. They have never led in this game by more than 2. A back and forth battle after Sam Houston snapped a 2-game losing streak during the regular season. These two teams have only ever played 4 times. Sam Houston winning both in the regular season. Planea just cannot get going today. 0 for 4 from the field for the 6th woman of the year. Inman fouled.
And we talked to Rick Petrie about how she heard about that award. It was pretty interesting because he said, this is Planea, he said that they had known because they were told about the awards early on, but they had to wait until it was out officially. And when it came out, they were on the bus and, you know, the coaches were ready to tell her, but unfortunately somebody saw it on social media first, so they yelled it out, and Planea got to enjoy that amongst her teammates, and I know she was so proud, and her coach so proud of her and what she's done this season.
Such a neat honor for her to pick up 6th woman of the year. She came off the bench primarily to begin the year, was playing so well. Now she's moved into the starting lineup. They did call that foul in the act of shooting, so Inman at the free throw line. It was on Saric. 4 fouls already here in this 3rd quarter for Jacksonville State. Inman gonna get her own offensive rebound off the miss. 11 points on the day, finds Kemp open. Can't hit the 3, but a 2nd offensive rebound.
Oh, they need a bucket. Instead, it's another turnover. 16 now for the Bearcats.
And that will take us to break here in Huntsville. Sam Houston leading by 2 midway through the 3rd.
separates her right now from the rest of the team is that she's been able to get that paint penetration. She'll put up shots, she'll find people, but that's essential to start this offense.
Cool technology there to be able to visualize where Harris has been working here early on today. Jacksonville State, they've not scored in the last 4 minutes of this game. That's not going to change. Another turnover. Ward Strong the other way. Can't finish at the rim. Kone, a third try, and now Barnes rips it down. Offense light here in the third quarter. And Houston in the midst of a 7-0 run as Ponce kicks out. Harris misses it. Planea, though, with the offensive rebound. With a turnover here, and Jacksonville State gives it right back. And that feels like it has been the story of this day. And Annie Corey was in the Jacksonville State huddle a few moments ago.
Noah, Coach Petrie looked at his team and he said, who's it going to be? Who's going to step up right now late in the game? He said, ladies, we're missing shots right now that are close to the rim. We're not working hard enough to rebound those shots. He said, it's time to turn up the energy. Sam Houston's done it, so it's our turn now.
Kind of feels like they're beating themselves right now, Kelly.
Yeah, and he knows how critical those things are. This is a coach who's been at this for decades. He knows a thing or two about winning games in March. When you miss shots that we've seen, those easy shots right next to the basket, yes, they're contested, but those should be shots that go in because the focus is there. Even the pass a moment ago by Planea just passed it over the head of her offensive player. It doesn't seem like this team is locked in.
Gamecocks 0 for their last 8 from the field. It's been 5.5 minutes since they last scored a point. Ponce spins and gets a tough one to go. That'll help.
Yeah, good drive, spin, and finish by Ponce.
He was their best offensive weapon throughout conference play. Barnes picks up the personal, and Inman going right back to the free throw line.
Here's Ponce, the spin, and you see Kone coming at the last moment to try to swipe her hand at that ball. Coach Petrie happy to see a shot go through the rim.
We talked about all the winning that Rick Petrie has done during his career. 401 career victories, picked up win number 400 versus New Mexico State earlier this year. But mired in the midst of the worst stretch of his coaching career, he told us it's been challenging. They've lost 10 out of their last 11, and for a coach who's used to winning, I can only imagine that can be difficult to go through.
So frustrating, and he said this is the first time he'll lose 20 games as a head coach. And that's significant when you think about all the years of his coaching. He just said this is a team that he expected, with the addition of a few from the portal or freshmen, he expected them to be better this year than they were. But he said there weren't many people that actually put the time in and became better versions of themselves this year versus last year. He said actually there were some that didn't even, they said they even regressed. And that has to be frustrating as a coach.
Rhodes driving. It's out of bounds. It stays with Jacksonville State. Rick Petrie really has done it the right way. He started as a high school men's basketball coach, then went to Division II Spring Hill. He's had stints at South Alabama, now Jacksonville State. His team's had a ton of success in that Ohio Valley Conference before going to the A-Sun and now Conference USA. 3 seconds left. Steal off the rim. A rebound for Inman, who's having a huge day. 13 points for her. She pulls. Too strong. And Rhodes skies for the board. And will be fouled from behind. It'll be on Whitney Dunn.
That's one of those unnecessary fouls. It looked like the rebound was already well secured. And you go in and get a foul, especially when you start thinking about free throws down the road. You don't want to have that tally continue to grow.
Fortunately, though, for both coaches, neither team's been great at the free throw line in this
game. That's a good point.
Both shooting under 60% from the charity stripe. Steele guarded by the conference's steal leader. Deep in the shot clock. Steele over Kone. Comes up short, and Ogayemi has the board. Miami still just 3 points in this game, dealt with early foul trouble and it's never gotten going. That one's poked out of bounds and they'll say it was off of Kone. She can't believe it. So back to Jacksonville State it goes. And Raven Justice fired up on the sideline. Teams, they combined 2 for their last 19 from the field. Offense has been optional here in the third quarter. Rhodes downhill, and the nice left-handed leg.